Mike West in the morning with Gareth and Renee's Famous Friday.
All right, our special guest this week is a man we all know and love. He is the face of what now? Face the music and stars in their eyes. The voice of Christchurch. A sensitive man, so sensitive it only lasts 30 seconds. He loves his wife and kids so much, he quit Treasure Island to go back to the snow of Canterbury. Simon Barnett.
Simon Barnett, yeah, it's shoveling snow. What are you doing?
Oh, mate, we haven't actually, it hasn't quite eventuated. I had my huskies all ready to go. I'd gone out and buried these sort of special supplies in the ground just in case I need them. But no, we haven't, there's hardly a flake's fallen so far. I'm kind of disappointed.
Oh, touch wood.
I know how inconvenient the snow is, and I know that it is really hard on farmers, and I know that it's really hard on livestock, but there's still a big part of me that's a 46-year-old kid and loves making snowmen and just getting out there. So yeah. I'm a bit disappointed.
There's a bit of magic about it, isn't there?
Yeah, beautiful. I had this debate with my partner on here, Gary McCormick, because he's such an old curmudgeon. He hates the snow. In fact, he hates people.
They get a bit shivery.
He hates living, Renee.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time you got rid of him, Simon.
I've been telling him that.
Yeah. So you're heading back to television?
Yeah, look, they obviously nobody else is available, so they drag out old Simon.
Oh, we love seeing you on TV.
Oh, thank you, Renee. Yeah, they open the old vault, dust off the dust, and blow me off. And blow me off is probably not a good phrase to use.
What's happening with that snowman? No, the carrot goes on its head, Simon.
I'm sorry about that. I'm actually really delighted to be involved in this, though, because, you know, it is about families that have been through a pretty torrid time.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think people will see from the very first episode, there's something quite dramatic that we've done for the first time in the series, and B, you'll be quite emotional when you hear these families recount what they've been through, and some of the situations are just heartbreaking. The hardest thing for me, you know, off the record, was it's not the presenting thing, it's actually you become very embroiled in their lives, and because I can relate so well to what they've been through, because I was here, that when they tell their stories, oh man, it was heartbreaking. And then, of course, for me, and you see this on episode 1, they get the 6 finalists, and then I have to go to 4 of those families and say, you're not going any further.
Oh, and they didn't make you do that.
Oh, mate, honestly, I hated it. And I'm not the kind of guy for the job. You know, I said that to the producers. I said, I'm the worst man to do this because I do get so emotionally involved. And I recall one family, I won't say because it'll spoil the surprise, but I walked up their driveway with the camera crew, and they came out with all their children.
Oh,
and
no.
they were waiting to find out, and all the kids are there.
Yeah.
And I just say, guys, I'm so sorry, you're not going on. And she just dissolved in the floods of tears. And then he was so staunch but very, very affected. And then I burst into tears. And this is not reality TV where I'm fabricating it. I am sobbing. And it was awful.
Yeah.
I felt like a complete tool. But it was hard.
You know what would have happened after you walked back out the driveway? They would have gone inside and said, right, where's the list? What list? Oh, the Christmas card list. Simon Barnett, gone. Daniel Bedingfield, back on.
Oh, hey, give me a break. Anybody but him.
So, Simon, are you a home handyman type yourself, or do you get people in?
Let me answer that question by telling you this. Whenever there's a job to be done in my house that needs fixing, the last time, I promise this is the truth, my wife said to me, why don't we get a man in? So, needless to say, I did it. And there was one particular example, I'll share this story very briefly with you. We had a shower and a bath in one. You know, you stood in the bath, but the shower sort of dripped on your head. It was pathetic. And there was a gap around the side of the bath. And I said to my wife, I'm going to fix that. So I went down to the hardware store and bought that big tube of glue, cut the top off, and I cannot get any glue out. For an hour and a half, without a word of lie, I'm squeezing this tube, and I'm so angry. I go back to the hardware store. I'm ashamed to tell you this story. I go back to the hardware store, and I slam this thing on the counter. And I said to the guy, mate, you have sold me a pup. And he said, what do you mean? I said, I'm an hour and a half, and that glue is not coming out. It's gone hard in there. And he said, where's your glue gun? And I said, what do you mean, my glue gun? And he said, you put the tube in a glue gun. And I had it between my legs, mate. And then he said, to add insult to injury, then he said, don't worry, mate, we have people that come in here and can't wire up a 3-pin plug. And I was like, oh, losers.
Exactly. Good on you, Simon. You wait right there, mate. We'll continue our chat with Simon Barnett next. This is 92.2 MoreFM. It's Mike West in the morning with Gareth and Renee. Favourite day of the week for me. It's Famous Friday here on MoreFM. And our guest this week is the new host of Mitre 10 Dream Home, Simon Barnett. So, Simon, when's the show starting up?
2nd of July, Tuesday the 2nd of July, it goes to air, episode 1, and we're straight into it. You've got the 6 final families. They've found the final 6, and then that episode you find out who are the final 2. We, tell the other 4 families, and then from there on it's all on to young and old. And quite seriously, there is something that's never been done before, and just raises the ante so much for the show. So I was really excited about that, but of course it adds enormous pressure because the families, there's so much at stake this time. I'll only say that. But yeah,
it sounds so exciting.
Oh, finally something decent to watch on a Tuesday.
I know. Tuesdays there's just nothing on, is there?
Look, I'm with you, Renee. Except Jones TV. I don't know if you've seen much of that, but that's great. Have you seen that on Sky?
No, I don't know. I haven't.
Renee's too young to remember any of the shows on Jones.
Oh, I see. Yeah, sorry, I'm showing my age. It's got Wonder Woman on it.
It's got
I love a good.
It's got
Wonder
What
Woman.
Now featuring Simon Barnett on it. It's got Face the Music on it.
Hey, cut that out.
So, Simon, are they going to bring back Face the Music at any stage?
I'd love them to.
Yeah.
I really would.
I love that show.
Yeah, so did I. But the problem is, this is a little bit of insider trading for you guys, and maybe your audience will enjoy the story and understand the pressures that it is to make television these days.
Yeah.
An episode of the last series I did was Stars in Their Eyes, and it cost $250,000, $250,000 to make one episode.
What?
Right? One episode. And then they can buy, say, an episode of, let's say, Desperate Housewives, and it would cost them $7,000.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
You can see why it's hard to make local television these days.
Simon, you should have lowered your fee.
I know. And look, I said that. I said, look, I'll only take $243,000. Wouldn't go for it.
Hey,
Don't you know who I am?
Simon, getting back to Face the Music for just a second, I remember when the team came through town, I went and auditioned.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I'll be good at this because I'm a radio DJ, I know all the songs. I didn't make the cut.
Did you not make the cut?
No.
And they still talk about this dimwit that came in that didn't know anything. I can tell you one quick last story on Face the Music. Where everybody got so competitive. Game shows, I've done heaps of them over the years, and they get so into it, the contestants, and they're fully focused on you, and they're often not caring about the other contestants. They just are so focused on the question. And we used to Face the Music. Remember that set? And it had all these inflatable tubes around the main stage. And we had the 3 contestants standing in front of me. I was about to play a piece of the music, and the guy standing in the middle position of the 3, his eyes rolled back in his head, and I thought, man, this guy looks crook. And then his eyes completely sink into the back of his head. He faints, falls off the stage, but gets completely enveloped in the inflatable tubes, and he disappears. The other 2 contestants give him a fleeting glance and then hands on the buzzer to play the next question.
Man down, gotta keep going.
Brilliant, mate.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Unbelievable.
Hey, Simon, one of the things I love about you is you've got a great sense of humour. You're a very funny guy. Can you tell us a wee joke?
Oh, put me on the spot here. Okay. So this guy, there's 2 Irish guys, and they go into a hardware store. And no, actually, just one Irish guy. Hold me back, one Irish guy.
Hang on, this isn't the story about you and the glue gun again, is it, Simon?
No, he goes in this store and he sees this shiny thing on the shelf, real shiny, and he's fascinated by this shiny thing on the shelf, and he picks it off the shelf, this really shiny thing, and he goes up to the counter and he says to the guy, he says, "Hello there, mate." He says, "Listen, I've got to ask, what's this?" And the guy says, "It's a thermos." And he says, "A thermos?" He says, "What's a thermos?" And the guy says, "A thermos, it keeps hot things hot and cold things cold." And the guy says, "Wow, that's amazing, I'll buy it." So he buys the thermos and he goes away and he meets his mate Sean. And Sean comes up and he goes, "Wow, what's that shiny thing you got there?" And he goes, "It's a thermos." And he goes, "A thermos? What's a thermos?" And he says, "A thermos, it keeps hot things hot and cold things cold." And Sean goes, "That's amazing. What do you got in there?" And he says, 2 cups of tea and an ice cream.
Very good.
That's all I got for you.
Thank you, Simon.
Brilliant.
Hey, it's been great talking to you, Simon, as always. Good luck for the new show. We can't wait to see it.
Thank you very much for chatting with me, you guys. I appreciate it greatly. You're a good team, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, mate, and good luck surviving all the cold and the snow and everything down there.
We'll be fine. The Huskies are warming up.
Thanks,
mate.
Simon.
Cheers.
You guys.
Cheers, Si.
Bye-bye.